Betty Yvonne Utendahl was born in the state of Ohio on October 20th, 1928, to Ophelia Sally Reeves and John Oscar Reeves. The second child among four daughters, Betty thrived in her hometown of Martin Ferry, Ohio, where she lived with her sisters Irma, Joan, and Audrey, and her parents until the age of 13. In 1943, following the Great Depression, the Reeves family joined the thousands of African Americans who flocked to major cities in what would later be known as the Great Migration. After settling with her family in Queens, Betty attended Lawrence High School and Jamaica High School. Despite being a Midwesterner in bustling New York City, Betty instantly became a star classmate. Known for being incredibly popular, beautiful, and for giving the guys a hard time, Betty had an infectious energy that stayed with her throughout the remainder of her life. Soon after graduating from high school, Betty was scouted by a modeling agent and became a model. A woman of many talents, Betty modeled alongside the great Diane Carroll and Leslie Uggins, who would later be known for her role in Julia and Dynasty. Unfortunately, despite Betty's resilience, Black women were afforded very little recognition within the fashion or Hollywood industry during this time period, and after a few years of great effort, Betty decided to move on to new heights. In the years following, Betty worked as a manager at the famous Gertz department store, and it was during this time she met the love of her life, George Christopher Utendahl. Soon after meeting, George and Betty fell madly in love and were married in Queens, New York in 1953.
Ain't no way for me to love you if you want.
They purchased their first home at 45-69 206 Street in Bayside, Queens, where Betty remained for the duration of her life. In 1955, Betty gave birth to her first son, George Christopher Utendahl Jr., and in 1957, her second son, John Oscar Utendahl, named after her father. Betty enjoyed the simple pleasures of life, including motherhood and being a figure in her community. After her marriage from George ended in the 1960s, Betty decided to play to her talents and began to use her music skills as a form of healing from heartbreak. She was a prolific piano player who was passionate about music and offered piano lessons to anyone in her neighborhood. A die-hard fan of Aretha Franklin, Nina Simone, and Sam Cooke, Betty's home was never without the sound of music coming from her record player or from her high-rise piano. A testament to the role that Betty's home would play for many, many years to come, the front door at 45-69 206 Street was always open, with Betty's arms open wide. As years progressed, Betty Utendahl enjoyed the thrills that life brought to her. She loved being a mother, aunt, grandmother, cousin, sister, great-aunt, and great-great-aunt to her family members, and a support system to her friends. Even after suffering a debilitating stroke in 1993 that left her partially paralyzed, Betty never went without a smile on her face and laughter in her home. Known for her strength and fortitude, Betty remained the center of the Utendahl family for the duration of her lifespan. Each holiday, members of the Utendahl clan flocked to her home to celebrate the occasion. Visiting Betty during Thanksgiving and Christmas became a tradition that lasted throughout the duration of her life and will continue to inspire members of her family for generations to come. Betty inspired and will continue to inspire those in her life to enjoy life for what it has to offer, regardless of any circumstances that come our way. It is Betty's strength, optimism, and resilience that will forever live on through the lives and smiles of the family she leaves behind.